Ruben, I met him. I met Ruben many years ago, but really didn't build a friendship with him until probably, let's say, spring break of 2008. I want to say that's probably one of my most memorable years, spring break '08. That time frame. I met Ruben downtown. He was the bassist for a band called Scars and Stripes. It's a local big punk band. He used to be around here. Good for us. Ruben was just a good guy. He was one of those people that he was friends with everybody, all walks of life. Never discriminated against anybody. He was always just alive, cheerful, happy. I could have the worst day of my life, bump into Ruben downtown somewhere, and he cheered me up. But we went and saw a movie, and then we went drinking afterwards. It's kind of what we did. And I remember I drove him home that night, and that was shortly before. That was probably a week before I moved.
Okay.
I had packed up everything and sold what I couldn't fit in my car, and I moved to New Jersey. That was something at that time.
There was a lot of anger, a lot of anger, and I had to kind of learn how to process that under the radar because, again, you know, my first and foremost, my main concern was my mother. And that's really what I have focused on since the day we got the phone call. Yeah. I watched a piece of her die that day, you know, and she'll never get that back. And then we get the police report. I guess it was about a month or so later when we got the death certificates, however long it was, and it was like another blow altogether because it for all intents and purposes they blamed my brother. Yeah. You know, and it just, I would say he was at fault in a way, but you know, I feel like the guy was at fault, and I feel like whoever controls that section of the road was at fault. You know, and you have to learn over time how to let that go, I guess, you know. But I've learned that the more you let go, the easier it is to kind of accept what has happened. You couldn't not like him, you know, but he did the cross, and there were a few guys that came out with the group, the little club that he was a part of, and got it in the ground, and it's cemented in there. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's beautiful, and he did it all by himself, and it just, you know, that just, to me, I felt like, you know, it's a great way to remember him, but it was an amazing way for somebody to show just how much he meant to them. It's heartbreaking to know that he'll never know the impact that he had on people's lives. His cover didn't match the content. Yeah. You know, I don't know. He was, I don't know. I know I've said it before, but he's just one of a kind.
I'll tell you, there's not a day I don't go there very much, but I don't ever drive over that island, across that island, and not look to my left or to my right. You know, to think of that's where Mike got hit, that's where Ruben was found. And that eerie feeling, I don't like the island. I've said for years, it's too dark at night. You know, if there would have been some type of proper lighting on that, maybe somebody would have seen Mike. You know, Ruben's situation, I don't even know the whole. There's not a day I don't go over that island and I get a weird sensation or that chill. You know, and there's not a day. Every time I go over there, I always look to my left if I'm going in, to my right if I'm coming back, and tip my head to Mike's cross.